slow, gotta keep it moving, moving. When you're high or you're low, gotta keep it moving, moving. When you know in your soul, gotta keep it moving. You say, I'ma keep it moving. You say, I'ma keep it moving. So you can live the high life. We can live the high life. You can live the high life. We can live the high life. Every city worldwide.
Hey guys, it's Katrina from Tone It Up, and it's Tone It Up Tuesday. Now today we're doing a Saved by the Bell workout. It is a kettlebell routine. A lot of you are requesting a kettlebell routine, and I'm certified in kettlebell, so I was dying to do this. I'm really excited. It's going to be a two-part series. Now if you don't have a kettlebell, most gyms have kettlebells, but you can also hold a couple textbooks. Just be careful. Don't let go of them and let them fly over the rim. Or you can use a dumbbell with some of them, but I really prefer a kettlebell with this. All right, let's get started. Okay, we're gonna start with the basics of the kettlebell. I'm gonna just teach you how to pick it up because most people just get injured within the first 2 seconds. They don't realize how heavy it is. When you go to pick up the kettlebell, it's almost gonna be a deadlift that we've taught you before, a bent-legged deadlift. You have your toes facing outward. Your abs are strong. Remember what we tell you is that your belly button is drawn into your spine, like we're gonna come up and punch you, but we're really not gonna punch you, so you brace yourself. You're gonna bend down to that strong core and come up and pick up that kettlebell. Okay, that's number one, that's most important. You're not gonna bend over. So I'll show you what not to do. I'll actually have my core tight, but you just don't wanna do this and then end up pulling your back up. So once you pick up your kettlebell, I'm just gonna teach you the basic swing, so two-handed swing. You're gonna bring it behind you and then up. The secret is that the kettlebell, all of your force is coming from your glutes and your quads and your hamstrings and your whole core. And so the kettlebell is just an extension of your arms and they come straight forward. It is a total body routine, but it's mostly force in your lower body and burns a ton of calories. The kettlebell actually comes down where your forearms hit your inner thighs and you come up, driving all your weight into your heels, straightening your legs, having your abs tight. So I'll show you from the side because it's easier to see. So again, toes are slightly facing outward, kettlebell down, abs are engaged, your head is forward. Try to focus on something just straight in front of you. Bring your forearms to your inner thighs, come up, extension, forward. So I'm actually not using my arms at all. I'm just popping up, weight into my heels, driving my hips forward. Abs are tight. I can already feel it in my abs. Good. Shoulders are back and down, so try not to hunch your shoulders at all. So back and down. And you want to do about 30 seconds. You can build up to a minute. I like to do time, so that way you're not focused on the reps, but the time instead. So it's more important to keep your form. Abs are tight. Exhale on the way up. Inhale on the way down. And squeeze your glutes. It's almost like you're snapping forward. I would say bend and snap from what is Legally Blonde. And snap. Exhale, exhale, exhale. Good, so you can set your timer or on your watch or keep a clock by you. And then when you bring it down, same way, bent-legged deadlift, and you're safe. Don't forget your printable routine to take with you is at the link below. You can print it out, and we made it just for today. So what we're gonna do next is a split lunge with an overhead kettlebell. Again, you go down, and you grab your kettlebell. You can just twist it up, or you can do a clean. If you're experienced with kettlebell, you can just bring it straight up. Now you're gonna put one foot forward and one toe back. Now the trick with a safe lunge is all your weight is in that front heel, and your back toes is just a stabilizer. You can actually be wider with your stance for more stability, and a little close together for less, so your abs work more. So remember, belly button drawn to your spine. I want you to drop straight down so your knee is in line with your ankle. It's not dropping over your toe. And then you come straight up. Straight down and back up. Exhale, all your weight, again, is going in that front heel, and you'll feel it in that right glute, the working leg, and that back toe is just a stabilizer. You'll feel it in your shoulder. Try to keep that kettlebell straight up in the air with a neutral wrist. And again, watch the clock for about 30 seconds to a minute, and then you'll switch sides. of my favorite exercises to tone up the waistline and the love handles is the kettlebell windmill. So it's not to be confused with the yoga triangle pose, but it looks a lot similar. So you still want to go down, deadlift, and grab your kettlebell. You want your wrists to be straight and neutral and right above your head so your shoulder is in line with your wrist. Now your abs are tight, your right foot is facing straight forward, and your left toe is slightly outward. Most of your weight is actually in this hip and your abs are tight. I want your left hand palm forward, roll it down your leg, and see how I'm keeping that kettlebell straight up in the air, and then come back up. Now what I like to do is actually focus on that kettlebell, watch it come down, and then drive all your force into that right heel, working that glute and the waistline. You'll also feel this in your arms and your shoulders. Good. So the hardest part of this exercise is to keep the kettlebell straight up in that line, and you feel it all throughout here. Now remember, do the other side. So you want to put your other foot on an angle, and now your left foot straight forward, kettlebell straight up above your shoulder, and then your palm goes forward, bend down, watch that kettlebell, and then come up, squeezing your obliques and your waistline. Woo! I already feel this side. Good. So once you're laying down on the ground, you're gonna roll over and cradle that kettlebell. And you wanna roll over and bring it over your chest. That way you don't pull out your chest muscle or your shoulder. And the kettlebell is gonna go straight above your shoulder. So your wrist is neutral, that's super important. Now my left leg is gonna stay bent. I'm gonna have my right leg slightly on an angle and my right arm slightly on an angle. Now this is just the beginning of the Turkish get-up, and we'll finish it next week. So it really works on your abs, and what I want you to do is look at that kettlebell and then sit up onto your elbow and then sit up onto your hand. Come back down to your elbow and then go back down. So it's a crunch with a lot of resistance. Good. And exhale on the way up. Inhale on the way down. And then you'll do the other side. All right. So again, set that timer and do each exercise with good form as long as you can. And remember, your printable routine is at the link below, and next week we're going to advance these moves for Saved by the Bell Part 2. We'll talk to you guys soon. My heart's pounding.
Smiling so high up, but he keep on climbing to the top, won't stop. He got some rocks, but he came back with them diamonds. Yeah, the kid did well back in the days when they thought he would fail. When I was living in hell, I tell myself, when it's fast or slow, gotta keep it moving, moving. When you're